Welcome back. It is The Drive with Jack Ebling, the Spotlight Radio Network, and it's another Dean Trailways. On the road to a remote, we are here at Breslin Center, the courtside room, just off the floor. I'm here with Lindsay Huddleston, Sports Psychology Solutions, and we're joined by two guys very important to Michigan State's success this year. We got a guy who put up 59 points in the Moneyball game, right? Gabe Brown. And Thomas Kithier, maybe the best kept secret on this team. A lot of people say, oh yeah, well that guy, whoa, there's another basket. So when you guys think about the difference now from when you came in, Gabe, how are you different as a player and a person?
Just mentally, I'm more ready. I'm more locked in. It's been a grind this summer for me and Tommy, for us to get better, for us to just work. So for us to work on our defense, offense, coming off screens, things like that, we did put in a lot of work this summer.
I heard you were threatening the number of shots, the record number this summer. You were shooting the ball all the time. Tom Izzo was talking about how many shots you
2,600 this week you put up?
Yeah, I put in 2,600.
Wow. What's the most shots you ever had in a week, Thomas?
Man, I don't
One
know.
2,600, right?
No, Gabe is definitely one of the most motivated guys in the team. You know, there's really no one on the team that comes close. You know, Gabe shoots. You know, and it shows. I mean, we had a scrimmage the other day in practice. I think Gabe goes probably like something like 15 for 17 shoot from the floor. So I mean, you can really tell how much work Gabe's put in.
Gabe, with that motivation, where's that coming from? What keeps you going with that? What's getting you up in the morning to do things like that?
My family and my father. That's like the main two reasons. I watched when I was younger. I struggled as a kid, so that's my motivation right there.
The relationship you and your father had and the fact that he's with you every time you take the court, can you talk about how special that is playing for him?
It's special every time I step on the court because that's a bond that's never going to be broken. That's with my brothers, that's with my family, that's all. That's really what we got. So for me to go out there and just play for him and do the right things and know that he's there, it feels great.
Thomas, very few Big Ten players have scored 49 more points their freshman year than they did their senior year of high school. Can you talk about the biggest thing you learned last year?
Man, the biggest thing I learned last year, I say just not taking the game for granted. You know, it's not like I went through an injury or anything, but I can just, you know, and there's other guys on the team that can stay with it, just like how quick the game can be taken for you. So I think in a way I really learned how to appreciate the game of basketball, you know, and think about it in different ways.
You guys both want to start. You both could start. You could be on the floor together. But how important is that, and is the real strength of this team the depth you have, the number of players? You're almost injury-proof, except maybe at the point.
Yeah, you know, I say one thing, you know, we can go 12 guys deep. You know, there's 2-3 guys at every position that can just, you can keep rotating them in, and feels like we lost nothing. I mean, there's guys that can do a little more than other, but, you know, different guys bring different things to the table, you know. And I also believe that guys have improved on a lot of different stuff this year. Like Gabe has improved on his passing a lot, in my opinion. You know, his vision got a lot better. So, you know, there's definitely we definitely have a ton of depth.
You know, when you guys have players who just sat down with us, Xavier Tillman, Cassius Winston, they have pretty much set, you know, their standard of where they are in the team. You guys are working that part. What was the transition like, getting on campus, finding your way, and being in this position now? Okay, that's a good one right there. What you got, Gabe?
Oh man, when I first arrived on campus, I arrived a week after Thomas did. So when I first got on, it was crazy. I didn't know where nothing was at. I barely knew where the Breslin Center was at, for real, because we lived in the Brody.
Oh, before they moved you guys.
Yeah, so we lived in Brody, so I didn't know where nothing. I didn't know where food was at, anything. So it was really a big transition with X and Josh and Kyle and just Cash. They always being there. They helped us out.
Is that something new players take for granted? The physical transition, getting on campus, getting to learn your way around, getting comfortable, and then going in and playing for a big program.
Yeah, I feel like that is, because when I first got on campus, I didn't even know we had a library or a bookstore. Like, I never knew that. But for me to get around and just get to talking to people, becoming, like, communicating with others, it's helped a lot.
What about you, Thomas?
Yeah, you know, obviously there's things in the court, but, you know, things in the court, you know, just like learning our system and stuff like that, which can be a shock. But, you know, I just think learning how to cook, you know, trying to find just meals on your own, like when you don't have stuff provided here. And just, it's different, you know, being away from your family, being away from your friends. You have to go out and meet new people. So, you know, it's definitely something that is different, you know. And another thing, Gabe and I, freshman year, don't have a car. So, I mean, it's walk here, walk there, you know. If you have a 20-minute walk to class, you're chugging through snow.
Right.
So it definitely builds a little bit of character there.
Sure.
So it was
Can you
cool.
cook now? What's your go-to thing if you were trying to impress somebody?
Oh, man. I can make some decent scrambled eggs, you know, a little
Okay.
mac and cheese. But I'm not.
Eggs and mac and cheese all day long.
You know, just my roommates are mostly the cooks in my place. You know, maybe
Okay.
get my girlfriend to cook me a meal here and there. So, you know, I just kind of stick with those things a little bit.
Lindsay, I think I can make Gabe Brown smile. I
can make
know
him
I
smile?
can make Tom Izzo smile by saying 3 letters. LSU.
A heater.
You were on fire that night. What do you remember?
I remember the second 3 I hit when Aaron drove and he kicked it to me in the corner. I remember that, and I knew like the game was gonna get very intense after that.
You think about Thomas, and we have the same favorite movie,
What's that?
Shawshank Redemption.
Okay,
It's a
cool.
great movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you seen it like
Andy
multiple times, probably? Right.
Yeah, I think
it's on all the time.
Yeah, I think me and my dad probably watched it, you know, like probably 4 or 5 times, and just, you know, you see it on TV, just scrolling through channels, just keep it on. It's just a great movie to keep on. You know, it just shows how like you persevere through things, and it's kind of just like a good way to just think about life. Just always trying to think of life in a positive way.
And you're a big fan of the Detroit Lions.
Oh man.
Which you watched last night, right?
Yeah, oh man, there's a lot of yelling involved. I'll say one thing. I think I gotta watch what I say here about this. I think we got hosed last night with some
Yeah.
calls. I mean, there was just.
The Big Ten refs or something, right?
Oh man, you know, at least I don't even know. I think both calls on Trey Flowers was just garbage. You know, I think they missed the PI on Marvin, but Detroit also has to capitalize on in the red zone. I mean, they kick 5 field goals. It's gonna be hard to win a game kicking 5 field goals.
Also, the Lions gained 188 yards in the first quarter.
Was it 40
and
something?
111 in the last 3 quarters. But I was there. I was sitting in
You were
Green
there?
Bay
Yeah.
watching the game,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
And it looked like the Lions had it, and they just yanked it away from them. And Green Bay's done that so many times. So
That's the only way Green Bay can beat us. Penalties, man.
I'm just curious, when you guys see a game like that, you're watching football, but how do you relate it to your personal life, playing here at Michigan State? I mean, what connection do you make?
He's a football guy.
Yeah.
Football guy.
I just think, you know, seeing how hard they work, you know, just, you know, they always talk about, I know one thing Coach Patricia for the Lions emphasizes, technique. You can say the same thing, like, about your jump shot, about different moves you make, you know, the way you play defense. You know, it's just paying attention to little things and just seeing those guys go out there and execute that stuff every week. You can just really appreciate the dedication they put towards the game.
Awesome.
freshman years are never easy. Everybody has to adjust. What was the high moment and what was the low moment? If LSU was the high moment for you, what was the moment where you say, I don't ever want to be there again?
I really didn't have a low moment. I mean, you're gonna have practices where you're gonna be down on yourself. You're gonna have games where you're not gonna get in. Like but with having just teammates around you and a family around you, there's no low moment. You can't take things for granted.
Never had a night when you went home from practice and said, maybe I should be better off somewhere else?
Nah. That's what I love to do.
You got upperclassmen that pick you up and keep you positive, you know. I think one thing, you know, people can say whatever they want about Kenny, but Kenny was a great person at keeping people positive. You know, he was always behind you talking to you, keeping your head up. And along with other guys like Matt McQuaid, you know, Nick did it too. You know, just guys like that just trying to make you see the positive side of things when coaches are yelling at you and getting at your face.
Foster Lawyer, you played with him, AAU circuit, high school, at Clarkston. I'll never forget watching the championship. They give you a medal,
Yeah.
and you got your medal, and how crazy that Clarkston crowd was supporting you. Tell us how he's going to be a different player this year in year 2.
You know, I think something that's very not looked at as Foster as him being a strength is as something defensively. You know, he's worked extremely hard all summer. You know, and you know he's put on weight. He's got a lot stronger. So I think defensively he's going to be a lot better. So I think he can be a two-way point guard for us. You know, I mean people might not believe it, but you know we see it in practice every day. So I think Foster has definitely made big strides in that category.
Last question for both of you. Number 1, preseason ranking, high expectations, bullseye on your chest. What that's going to be like starting with the Kentucky game, Gabe.
We just gotta go out there and play our game. We're not worried about being number 1. We're not worried about the rankings, the listings. We just want to win. That's the main goal here. We just want to win.
Thomas?
I would agree with the same thing. You know, there's nothing that gets better than that. I mean, being at the top of the list is a great thing. But you could easily lose any night. So I mean, it's just something you got to be ready for.
Gabe Brown and Thomas Kithier, Lindsay, they're going to be key parts of this team. And, maybe this whole starting thing isn't going to be set 5 guys. There's situations where one guy might be better against a certain opponent. But Tom Izzo loves the fact he's got so many players to choose from. He's really happy he has these 2 guys. We'll be back with more. It's The Drive with Jack and other Dean Trailways on the road tour, live from Breslin Center.